Okay, bravo, very good. This is the very beginning of the piece, and it's together with the cellos. And when you're starting this, you have to. The danger in this excerpt, if you're playing it for an audition, is that if you try to play it too fast. Think of it starts with the eighth notes, bum 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 da 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 dee da. So think of a tempo that you holding back a little bit so you can play the triplets so they're not too fast. And even if the conductor conducts it too fast, if you're the solo horn player, I mean, I was playing this one time in Frankfurt, and the conductor was wanting to have it da 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 da, like it was just too fast. And this was a young Italian conductor, so I went to him and said, when we did this with Mr. Karajan, he took it quite a bit slower. Oh, okay, so we'll take it slower. So if you're diplomatic and talk to conductors, and never like in front of the orchestra, you shouldn't tell the conductor, "Oh, this is much too fast." Go to the conductor and tell him, convince the conductor discreetly and tactfully that would be in his interest to maybe conduct it a bit slower. And usually conductors will listen to you. They just don't want to be made a fool of in front of the orchestra, which is understandable. So it's best to ask them, in the break of the rehearsal, or if you have any questions. Okay, so take it a little bit more deliberately. Oh, da 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 da, and it doesn't have to be that loud. When I played this performance in Frankfurt, we had actually the original parts, and I looked in the part, and it said Premiere, conductor Richard Strauss, 1896. I was playing from the actual first horn part that this piece was premiered in, which was quite amazing for me. I copied the part. Now I have a copy of it at home. And the funny thing is, in the beginning, in the original part, the first horn solo is marked piano. He wants to have like the cellos dominate. So you just have to blend. You don't have to really play. I mean, I think piano is too quiet, and all the other subsequent auditions are marked forte. But this is not the place where you have to play really loud in this piece. That's coming up later. Okay. Once again. Okay, now we're a little bit under tempo actually, but someplace in the middle would be.
Okay.
Da, 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 da. Once again, and then there are often mistakes made here. You hear a lot of people. I've heard this and played it a lot, and heard a lot of auditions where people play this piece, and the mistake is that somehow they start relaxing their embouchure. There are three notes that are close together and then two skips of a fourth. So they start to relax the embouchure within the first three notes, but you actually have to play the notes and then make the skip. So just think of, this is very easy. That's easy, and that's not that difficult. But play the first three notes and then do the skips, especially when it's higher or. That you play the notes that are together first, then make the skip, and then it works better. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay, once again from the beginning. Okay, give each note a little bit of a breath accent here. Like almost like you're singing it. That's it. Okay? And it's usually you have to be careful with giving breath accents. You just have to make sure that you getting each note in the middle. Mm-hmm. I find it helpful, and I think that sounded really great. Now it was like it seems easier to do it that way. Yeah. So do whatever you need to do to get the job done. Okay. Okay, very good. Let's go on to some other passages from this, like number 10. You have to be careful with the rhythms. Not faster 16th notes than are written. Yum, pa, 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 exact rhythm. Okay, and you have to end the notes. You have to end this note. It's better now. Yeah, pa, pa, pa. Each note even shorter, more intensity in each 16th. Yeah. Can you get them a bit more exactly, more the same? Okay, you've got it just one more time, and I'm sure it'll be fine this time. That's it. So you have to avoid that the 16th notes are faster than the rhythm, so it shouldn't be da 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 da, bum pa pa pa, exact rhythm, because you're playing with the whole horn section here, and if someone does a slight variation on the rhythm, then it's going to be very difficult for the horn section to really play as one. And it's more powerful if the horn section plays exactly together. Okay, let's look at this one at 53. Yum pa pa da da dee.
Do you like that to be forte as written or louder, since it's kind of like an exclamation in the texture?
The last three notes need to be really loud. Yeah, I'll play it a good solistic forte to a fortissimo. Okay, the tempo is a bit fast. Ba 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 bing. Then take your time. Ba ba. Take your time with the last three notes. Bravo. That's it. Okay, so this next passage coming up at rehearsal number 78 is the big passage where all 8 horns are playing. In Germany, they call this the Kraftstelle, for strength. It's like quite strenuous. And it's often demanded at auditions to make sure someone can play loud. That, as well as with the third Beethoven. But this is standard for auditions. So when you're playing it in the orchestra, it's possible that we play it with the high horn players, first, third, fifth, and seventh. Take it easy on some of the lower parts and really smash out the high notes, and the lower horn players play the long notes and back off on the high notes so they don't split them. If you're playing in an audition, don't try to play full volume, but just try to play with a big sound and make it sound beautiful. Heroic, but controlled. Okay. Okay, bravo. I know you've been playing a lot of strenuous things. So this is exactly now what we would do in the orchestra, in the Philharmonic, when we're coming to play the first part, dynamic, like medium loud. Not trying to, blow the roof off. And then when we get to this part, and just rest a little bit, let the low horns play, and then come in again. And play that, and then when we get into these notes, the last whole notes, get some blood back in the chops, let the low horn players play that, and then save yourself for the last half of the last measure.
Sure.
So when you're playing with a horn section, you have to be a team. You have to talk to the other players, and it's more important to get the job done well than to be a hero. So if you need to leave something out in order to really play the high notes, the way it really needs to be loud there. So share the work with your colleagues, and it's a different thing playing it in the orchestra than playing it in an audition. Now this solo at the end is after you've been doing quite a bit of blowing, so it's actually not difficult by itself, but in context, because you're going to be a little bit tired then it's difficult. And here again, like in measure after bar number 109, the long E flat that's held out for 2.5 measures. Usually, like we just did it a few weeks ago, I took over that note from the first horn player so that he doesn't endanger his accuracy here. So it's always good when you're playing in the section, make the first horn player feel supported and help out if you can. It's always better. It's more fun to play as a team. And here the second horn player takes over some of this. Let's start at number 108. And have the second horn player play that. So it would be the second horn normally in the orchestra. And then you come in again here. Strenuous, isn't it? So that's why you would have the second horn player play this measure come back in. And you're fresher again, so you're not like killing yourself. And the same thing here, you play this and have whoever is in your section is most suitable to do this, either the second player or the third player, play this note, hold out this note, and you come back in here. Otherwise, if you try to play it, if you have an assistant, you could use your assistant for that, you know.
Yeah.
But, okay, let's just do the ending. At the last of the trumpet's going to come in. It's very low for them.
Is there
For
a
that,
boost with-
yeah.